aware of.
So, saying all that, let's get into the wash. Okay, we're coming from an undisclosed location in Culver City, California. Even though somebody said it on their social media, but I like to stay low just in case they try to shut me down, which they can't shut me down. Okay, this is Jude, and I'm coming straight from the wash. Our producer's not here right now, so I might have to interrupt it later, and if I do, I apologize. Oh, but I got a treat for you. I have a treat for you. I got two beautiful, intelligent, worldly ladies right now, and bring them right now. Okay, first.
Hi, I'm Dr. Melinda Malovoz. I'm grateful to be the guest here with the Pirate Podcast with David and Chrissy.
Yeah.
And what a blessing it is to be here.
It is a blessing to have you here, and thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. And who do we have right here with the little Kim style?
Chrissy Holder. I have the privilege of meeting Dr. Melinda, and she... Jude and I are friends, and I just passed on the information of the great work she's doing with the child sex trafficking, bringing children out of that, and so here she is. This is going to be a great, great opportunity to inform and educate many people today.
That's what we're about, informing education on the wash. And what I like about the wash is, you see, a lot of people like to hit the main points. I like to hit the in-between points, because the in-between points is where the story really happens.
Right.
Like for example, if you hear somebody became a star.
Right.
Okay, you hear the star part, you hear the part that publicist wants to say, but you don't hear the part how they got the hook up in the middle, because they do this name and this name. But that's everything we do. Politics, that's science, that's everything.
Right.
You don't, not necessarily with the little guy, but usually the flashiest person is usually not the person with the, I'd say, the best sort of, the flashy person is the person who the public like.
Right.
But that's not necessarily the person who did the work.
Right.
Right.
Many times the person who did the work is
we're in Hollywood, so.
Hollywood is controlling the world. Everybody wants to be a Hollywood. But
I don't.
I'm so ensanguinated with the evil spirits. I probably couldn't go anyplace else. I would probably love to go someplace else. I'm from New Jersey.
Right.
But it's too normal now. It's too normal. I can't think about going home to maybe back to New Jersey and man, I want to make a podcast, and there's no podcast studio.
Right.
So I'm what did I do to
No,
myself?
Jersey has changed a lot. What is wrong with you?
No, that's North Jersey. I'm from South Jersey.
Oh, you're from South Jersey.
No, see,
okay.
And that's the thing that
That's
I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on New Jersey. We got a lot of
Close to
intelligent people here.
Pennsylvania and shit.
Yeah, exactly. We're in Philly, so that, we just took the level down. We just took the level of intelligence down.
Wow.
Talk about Philadelphia, South Philly. North Jersey is different. That's close to New York.
Right.
That's Vogue. That's intelligence. That's even though Tony Soprano lives there, it's very mobbed up too.
Well, it's all mobbed everywhere.
It's all mobbed everywhere. But here's the thing: I'm from South Jersey, so there's nothing to be proud of. So let's just move on to something that's a little more spectacular than South Jersey. There's nothing in South Jersey but Wawas and corn. That's it. And I don't want to go. I don't want to turn negative. So okay.
So I just wanted to share a little bit about Dr. Malovoz. She's running a foundation helping children out of sex trafficking. This is what attracted me to her. She was a speaker at a meeting, and I listened to her, and then I went up to her afterwards. I said, we need to talk because I want to be part of whatever it is you're doing and promoting that of, bringing children out of sex trafficking. And from what I understand, you also were a victim of sex trafficking, correct? And so today we're going to be, getting information from her. If you have that in your heart to help, children out of sex trafficking, you can also, just stay tuned in. And, she's a woman that's been through hell and back and is still standing. I think that needs to be, I thought that was my mantra. You know what I mean? They asked me, what is the mantra for you? And I'm like, I'm still standing. Hey. And her mantra is, I'm still living. Her mantra is, I'm still living.
That's an Elton John song, and I got the Elton John glasses.
Yeah,
so
I know.
There you
go. My song, what is my song about?
Shout out to Elton John.
I love Elton John. Everybody would think my favorite Elton John song is Don't Feel Your Feet, but it's not. I love that song, though. I love it. It's low-key. It's like the gay rock.
That's amazing. I saw him in Sydney, when I was modeling with Benetton when I was a kid, and he had his lover at the Grand theater, and he was like playing the piano while we were on the runway. It was,
Who,
like,
Elton
so cool.
John?
Yeah.
Oh,
It was really
wow.
cool.
He's iconic. But do you know what song I love by Elton John? See, I love those songs that are big, like Leave
What
On.
do I gotta do?
No, Leave On's my song. Leave On. He always talks about the dude singing blues. I love that song. And so it's about God is dead and stuff. Like, whoa, what is this? This song is too deep for me. Like, and so, but you hear the lyrics, you're like, man, Elton John is a genius.
Yeah.
Straight genius. I mean, you know, it's amazing that there are actually people that talented.
Oh, there are.
He's like, for example, like Michael Jackson. Picture that.
Michael,
Jackson.
I just got out of a relationship with Motown. And I'll tell you, Michael Jackson was one of those people in Hollywood that didn't need talented people around him.
Yeah.
'Cause everything he touched was gold, right?
He's
He
incredible.
had that incredibility. But, you know, there are a lot of people in Hollywood, they need everybody talented around them so they make them look, and they use them and abuse them.
Funny that you say that, and it's amazing because I talked to somebody and I posed a question to them, and I don't understand too much on the entertainers because I want to get back to the child trafficking because I got some real questions to ask you.
Yes,
So
I know.
the thing about Michael Jackson, it's funny that we're saying this when we're talking about Michael Jackson, but so maybe we'll make it a roundabout to it. But Michael Jackson, what I heard from somebody, I posed them the question, and if you go back to my thing, the Rex series, I could just go out and I interview people. And so I asked this gentleman who said he was a musician. I said, who is better, Prince or Michael Jackson? He said, Prince is a truer artist. Michael Jackson hires singers,
Yeah.
songwriters. Eddie Van
Yeah,
Halen
Prince
played
is
the
amazing.
Even dancers, because some of the
best.
dances that he learned from street dancers.
Michael
from what I
Peters,
understand.
the light-skinned guy in all his videos. That didn't the Beat It video. Like, yeah, he's an incredible, iconic dancer. But exactly what you said, and that's what the WASH comes in. One person will say something, and somebody will fill in the rest of the information. So it's amazing.
So
that
I
you
got
said
so
that.
much
Yeah.
information. So I guess you guys want me to go ahead and start?
Start,
Yeah.
do it.
Okay, so I just want to say first off that what an opportunity to be here with you guys. I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to do this. You know, in the light of everything that's come about, I am not about the trends.
Okay.
I'm a real human traffic survivor. I was sold in the 70s to the Russians. My father is royalty from Saudi Arabia. My mother was royalty from Russia and the Astor family, which is one of the top 13 Illuminati families.
Oh, wow.
And so that was what I was born into. They sold me, and then before you know it, I was like 12 years old. You could only imagine what I went through within that time, being groomed and programmed to do certain things. I'm under MK Ultra programming. That's what they were doing with Monarch programming, beta sex slave. And I just want to say, this isn't sensationalized. I've been with the deprogrammer since 13 years old. I went through 22 years of deprogramming from MK Ultra beta sex slave programming.
I was studying, not really studying, but I went over MK Ultra, and it's amazing. That's what the Manchurian Candidate's about.
Well, they did is so. This is the thing about. Let me just say this really quick. There are still using MK Ultra programming on the masses. It is one of the things that's going to destroy humanity as we know it, because it totally destructs your core from the creator. You know, there's a few books that I know that communicate about, you know, the fundamental cry of every human being wants to know its creator.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So if you're disconnected from and discombobulated and ripped apart from your creator, you know no source, you know no core. So, and that was what was really easy for these people. They bred me, they used me for this, and I ended up with like 35 personalities. And when my parents, we got back in contact, my father helped build all the Satanic Church in America with the help of the Freemasons and the protection of the Constitution of America. And I ended up like being a breeder for them, and it was really like hell. You know?
That's what I was going to ask you about. Okay, I'm sorry, Chris.
Oh, no, just to clarify, from what I understand, you said that your father actually had sex with you to give you children.
Yeah, I was able to have twins and so forth. Those are the ones that I was able to save. You know, I have a set of boy twins and a set of girl twins that I was able to save. They're at non-disclosed locations, safe. I protect them with all rights and everything. But, you know, there were a lot that I wasn't able to save because of rituals, you know. And, you know, if you're a kid or a SA survivor, this could be a little triggering. SA survivor is a satanic ritual survivor, you know, and we're in the time right now where the warlocks and witches are doing their thing in the mass quantities, right?
Yeah.
So I do heavy spiritual warfare. I got the gift. I know who the Messiah is, and I stand with that.
So you were also in that satanic church, right? Is that
well,
correct?
I was a child being raised in it for the work of Satan, right? And Lucifer. And then when my family bred me and actually made me do that stuff, what they did was they made me go to Lucifer as my father, not my earthly father.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So everything I had to go through was for Lucifer, which is really hard for a child who is disconnected from their creator, right? And all they're seeing is rituals and darkness and, you know, murder and all these kind of things, you know.
Well, let me ask you a question, because it's funny that you say that. Because I sort of got the vibe that we were going to talk about that, but that was never stated.
Well, you can't go through sex trafficking without that, because they get adrenochrome. They kill kids in front of you. And
so what is adrenochrome? Just to make sure that people understand what that is.
Adrenochrome is actually, they torture a kid and it goes off in the pineal gland. It's an extraction of a chemical in the pineal gland. It's one of the most potent hallucinogenics out in the world.
It's adrenaline, right?
And, well, no, it's adrenochrome. It's a different type of chemical that comes out, but you have to be tortured to get there. And so they brutalize these kids and kill these kids, and then they extract it.
Well, let's get back to that, because we're going to reach that later in the conversation.
Yeah.
That's but let's sort of lead into that.
Yeah.
What I was going to tell you is I met somebody who was a satanic church survivor in Van Nuys, I'd say about 5 years ago. He came up to me, told me the exact story that you just said. Sitting in the library, the Van Nuys library.
Yeah.
And he sat there and told me the same thing with a straight face. And that's a common thing right now. You're hearing a lot about that, about people being saved from satanic churches and stuff like that. You know what? I actually heard somebody said law enforcement does not even tell about satanic activity because
they get paid by it.
Yeah.
So like we just had a situation like you know, thank God Ghislaine Maxwell is charged and Epstein, and we're working on that, right? We've been working hard to get this stuff taken care of, and as survivors. And I recently during